Hi guys, thanks for watching again and welcome back to part 4 of the Make It Happen Summit. So this next instalment is actually for Kelly Lundberg. She's also very inspirational, gave quite a lot of information on how to go about things and basically talks about how she went around things as well herself.
Hi everybody and welcome to the Future Females Make It Happen Summit. Today we have with us Kelly Lundberg. Kelly, welcome. How are you?
Very good. Having my morning green tea.
Good, lovely. Nice way to kickstart the day. We are coming to Future Females for the 3rd birthday celebration from Dubai. So I am Leslie Forsman, the Dubai ambassador. And we're going to chat to Kelly today about her remarkable story as well as her business on personal brand. So Kelly, I did some research on you obviously before starting this webinar or this interview, and you've done some remarkable things. You've bumped shoulders with some remarkable people. You've been on TED, you've written a book. Please tell us how you made it happen, because that's what people want to hear. How do you get unstuck and take action like you have?
I thank you so much for that. And it's so like, you know, when people always say it back to you, like, oh, have I done that? Or have I done that? Because at the time you didn't do it. And I think, you know, sure. I've been fortunate that I started business really young. So I knew what I wanted to do when I was 24, and I didn't know how to do it, but I knew what I wanted to do. And I think that's something that often puts a lot of people off, is like, they don't know how in the end to do it. But it's not about that. It's about taking the first step. So I moved to the Middle East when I was 21 as a cabin crew with an airline here. And it was a great job for someone in their early 20s to travel the world and just kind of really explore. But it didn't take long for me to get a little bit restless. And Dubai is quite an entrepreneurial city. And it was very inspiring. And the entrepreneurial bug was pretty contagious. And I was like, right, I want a piece of this pie. And I never really questioned, you know, how am I going to do it? It was just like, this is what I want to do. So I launched back in 2005, the Middle East's first personal shopping and styling agency. And I'd seen the tourism industry really sort of take off in the Middle East. And I was thinking, you know, well, they're building more malls and they're doing this. So it just seemed like a really natural idea to really launch. And you know, people say to me, were you doing that in your home country? And I was like, no, I'd worked in retail in my home country. I had zero idea on how to run a business and what it really required. But I think that's the sort of aspect of launching a business, is about doing it rather than reading it in a book, you know. And over the years, then you learn, you can look back and you're like, well, that didn't work. And you know, I've heavily immersed myself into personal development, because let's face it, the answers are all out there. We just need to sort of learn ourselves and what works for us by being inspired by what other people have done. So that's kind of where the journey started there. And I think I always sort of looked back and was like, someone had said to me, it's always better to regret the things you've done than regret the things that you wish you'd done. And I was always like, well, do you know what? If it doesn't work as cabin crew, if it doesn't work in my own business, hey, I can always go back and be crew or find another job. You know, there's always another
avenue. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was kind of where the business started, and then I successfully sold that last year, and that was a big goal of mine. I'm very goal driven. That, you know, I wanted to do a TEDx talk, I wanted to launch a business and sell it, I wanted to, you know, live in a 5-star hotel. You know, there's all these things that I've been like, this is what I want to do, and then you go out and you make it happen.
And how do you, I mean, what are your increments of goals? Do you have 5-year goals? How do you work your goals? I mean, when do you start evaluating? What is your measure? How does that work?
Well, I mean, and I think that's something that, you know, as a person, you're constantly evolving. As a business owner, you're constantly evolving. So I have sort of big picture goals, which are 3 to 5 years. They involve maybe where I'd like to be living, or, you know, the type of house, or, you know, where I want my business to be, or, you know, but sometimes 3 to 5 years is so far away and so much can happen that 6 to 12 months is more than sufficient, because then you're like, right, what are the things that I want to work on now? And then you can measure them. So I've always created vision boards, but more than that, I have my goals written down. I actually have them, yeah, they're right in front of me actually. I have them written down like here, so I see them. What have we got here? Like July, August, September. Yeah, so for the next 6 months, these are the ones that, all the things that I want to achieve. And then what I do is I take that and put it into a statement, a script, you could call it, a desire statement. And that desire statement is something that's written as if it's already happened.
Okay.
So it's like your story, your ideal life, the things you want to achieve, but it's already happened. So whenever I'm mentoring anyone, that's one of the first things that I get them to do, and really sort of make their business journey of their personal brand and their business tangible. And then it sort of, and then it starts to all come together.
Sure. Feel it in your heart and soul.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, I watched your YouTube video on how you manifested living in the Anantara Hotel. I'm trying to manifest that now currently.
Yeah, it was,
place to live.
Yeah,
Wow.
and, you know, and that was also very much driven out of, you know, coming out of a relationship and or out of a marriage even, and I was certainly driven by the fact that he was like, well, I don't think you'll manage without me. I'm like,
I saw you said that. I thought, well, now you've started something, mister.
Absolutely. And it was an incredible year, because it was that sort of transition also from, you know, going through a divorce was one part, but also it was transitioning from just being a celebrity stylist, if you like, into full-time mentoring stylist. That was kind of that transition 3 or 4 years ago, coming up for 4 years ago. So then, of course, the next evolution from that has been not just mentoring stylists, but those that are lifestyle business owners, and taking them through the sort of personal brand journey of really being able to share their gift. And so many people hide behind their business, and what sells is them and their authenticity and the realness, and people need to be able to connect with that. So, you know, that's where we are now, 4 years, you know, on from that journey. And it is just constant evolution. As people we change, as businesses we change, and we've just got to keep going with it.
And I mean, I think we've touched on this as well, where I said to you, you know, I agree with you. You've always got to be authentic. But what if your authentic self is petrified of the spotlight and not really comfortable with having a personal brand? I mean, I understand that there's value, but I just think that sometimes the fear for a lot of people just trumps any value that they may see in developing that personal brand.
Yeah, and I can understand it, but I've seen so many of the women that I mentor kind of in that position in the beginning, going, I can't do this, or I don't feel comfortable with it. But it's like when we start anything, you know, we don't feel comfortable with it, or it doesn't feel right, or, you know, it takes years to feel really comfortable in front of a camera and, you know, share content. But I think if you make a decision to go into business, then I do think it comes with part and parcel is that now people want to know about you. It's the next step. And, you know, the world has changed massively in the last 6 months, and, you know, it's become more competitive, but it's also become more real. People want to be able to connect in a way that they weren't able to do before. And I see the only way you being able to do that is by having a personal brand. And what you choose to share versus what someone else chooses to share is entirely, you know, optional. Some people share lots, some people don't. But there's got to be that fine line where people feel like they can connect with you.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll see, I think you'll notice a difference with a celebrity that's, let's say, written a book or had a biography done on them. You will naturally feel just more inclined to like that person. They become more likable because you've watched their documentary or you've read their book, because they just become normal people, I guess, people that you can relate to.
And that's the whole thing, you know,
That's
for
all
a
people
long
want.
time, you know, and a long time I never sort of shared much of my personal story. I didn't think people would be interested, to be honest. And now I hear that a lot. Oh, I don't have anything interesting to say, or, you know, why would people want to listen to me? And, you know, what is obvious to you is actually amazing to others. It's just because you're so used to it, you've heard it before because it goes around in your head. But other people, you know, and do you know what's interesting? Those that, like, you know, I've mentored a huge number of mums, and, you know, they have all these like amazing hacks for this, and like are maybe a total whiz in the kitchen, and, you know, I'm like, how did you do that? And they're like, oh, I just did this and this. And for me, I'm like, wow, because I am terrible in the kitchen, for example, as one of the situations. I'm thinking of one friend in particular, and I'm like, you know, you could share that gift, like that really inspired. Oh no, no one would be interested in that. And you know, so don't ever take for granted the things in the journey that you've been on, because there's never going to be anyone like you that exists ever again that has had your experiences ever. So there's always going to be something different about it. So it's like, let's embrace that and share that, and you know, good things will
can help other people, you know, as you say. You don't know who you could help.
Absolutely. And it's that sort of thing where the relatability, you know, I guess it's no, I think it's naive to think that everyone will like you, just like you don't like everyone. You know, for whatever reason, there's people maybe I don't like or whatever, but you know, I think when you lose that need to be liked by everyone, then you can really be you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're trying to please everyone else, because I want everyone to like me, it's impossible. And then you don't become...
Who cares, actually? You don't need to have everybody liking you, you know. They're not going to be there forever, you know. Yeah, it's true. And when do you think it's important to start working on that personal brand in your business? I mean, how does it all work? Do you come off the starting blocks building your business as well as the personal brand, or do you build the personal brand and then the business, or how does it work?
I would say it varies from person to person. So it depends what business you're in, because your business might already be a personal brand. So if you're a person that's a photographer, for example, then the chances are you are your personal brand. So your business is going to be, you know, Sue Jones Photography, and that is your business. So I think, one, it depends on what your business is and what you're offering. And for different people, it will come at different times. So I'm mentoring someone who's incredibly successful in business right now, but she's been in business 8 years. And now she's working on her personal brand. Whereas I'm mentoring someone else who hasn't launched her business yet, but what she's doing is developing a community, nurturing an audience, so that when her business does go online, she's got an audience to sell to.
Yeah, that's great.
So it really varies from person to person and the business that you're doing. And it's a long-term investment. And when I say investment, it's an investment in your time. It's an investment in all aspects, your collaterals. Like maybe you need to get a website that, you know, houses, you know, your particular brands. And that actually where it went for me was when I got a call from, it was Harvey Nichols, I think, and they wanted me to host an event. And like, it was a really big deal, because when you start getting calls from luxury brands, like, it's really exciting. And they were like, we'd love you to host a fashion event in store. I'm like, oh, so amazing. And then when I sent them all my sort of collateral that was all my styling business, they're like, we can't use this. We're promoting you. Even though you have a business, we can't promote your business because we're a business. So they said, can you send us your personal name as a logo, and then we'll put that up on all the stuff. And I was like, okay. And I think I'd, you know, been thinking about having my brand, because I'd written a book at the time and that didn't fit under the styling website. And so I knew that there needed to be sort of an umbrella that everything was under, the book and TEDx talk went there, and there was just sort of
Yes.
other kind of bits and pieces that were there that didn't fit under the styling, and then it became a bit more natural. So yeah.
So now we've got Kelly Lundberg official.
Yeah, and it's official because for the only reason that kellylundberg.com was taken like a decade ago. Someone had already bought that, and I've tried to actually get it back from this guy. I've messaged him so many times, and he was like, "No, I bought it for my daughter when she was born. We've named her Kelly Lundberg, and I bought it for her. One day she'll use it." But, yeah. So,
oh, what a pity! But that's very cute for him and the daughter. Cute story.
I first went under kellylundberg.co because everyone was like, "Well, that's the next big thing." And
yes.
When I went to the States, it was a disaster because people were like, "Well, they were just adding. They thought I'd made a typo and were putting an M on it, and stuff wasn't coming to me, or then they would add .co.uk, or so it was just it So I went back to the com and did Kelly Lundberg official. So now it all sits underneath that.
That leads us really nicely actually into what you were doing at the moment, because you've obviously had quite a journey, the book, lots of things going on. So what are you focusing on at the moment, and where is the wave taking you now?
Yeah, so the next evolution, I guess, is still mentoring. So it's working, in groups mostly actually at the moment, where I'm helping those build an in-demand personal brand. So it's taking their knowledge, so group mentoring, taking their knowledge and helping them look at aspects of their personal brand and how they can put that online. And that's the whole thing is, when I've done webinars in the past, I say, right at the end, your homework is to go and Google yourself, but not in a vain way. I want you to go with your business hat on, that when you put your name in, you click images, you click videos, what comes up about you? And are you happy with that? And then it's like, well, what else can you be doing? If there's not enough out there, what can we do to be building your brand you? So that then there's like two avenues for people to know about your business and the opportunities and
100%
and everything to come from. So it's very much working with women to really emphasize an impact, build their business, build their brand, but so they can have an impact and leave it and help their business at the end of the day. So it's good. It's taken that sort of, I've been helping people with their personal brands from a clothing perspective for 15 years. So on the outside, knowing what works, knowing what maybe looks good on a website, what should someone be wearing when they get their professional pictures taken, all of these sorts of things are aspects that I've worked on over the past 15 years, working with luxury brands, helping their employees. So I've worked with Chanel, I've worked with Louis Vuitton, helping their employees step up their personal brand with style knowledge, personal presentation, all of that aspect. So it's just taking that and putting it into individuals, and I'm loving it because it is just that next step. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Beautiful. And I will be very surprised if not every single person Googles themselves after watching this, because that is absolutely what I'm going to do first thing. And you have an offer, I believe, for future females and for our viewers, yeah?
Very special. So I've got a 7-week program. I actually just increased 6 to 7, added more content in it, where I really help people through that journey of what do they do if they're thinking about launching their personal brand. And you can do it on any scale, and you can do it over 7 weeks. You can do it in 7 days. It's more than 7 hours, but the whole purpose is it's online, so you can watch the modules and do it as and when. But we've got a special promo for your ladies watching is $297. So that will give them access to like 25 plus videos of aspects of their personal brand and how they can make an impact.
Lovely. Awesome. And then you have a community as well on Facebook or?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a community on Facebook, and as part of that, I also host once a week a live group mentoring session. So we get everyone connecting from all over the world, which is really cool actually. And the time works well. I've got people in America that tune in before they go to work. I've got people in the UK that are tuning in at lunchtime. And it's recorded, so people can't make it, it's okay, but they submit their questions in advance, and then they can come live and answer them, ask them, and I'll answer them. And sometimes it just goes off in one direction, and then, you know, it's a really nice community actually.
Nice.
And people going through the same things as well. I've got a really good feedback from. That's the first time I've ever really done group mentoring. Everything that I had done before that was one-to-one. And I always thought that was where you got the most important pieces of information. It's really interesting to see how a community, it's not just you, there's a community of people that have answers. Yeah. So I've really enjoyed the group calls. It's been really good.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a lot of fun, I must be honest. I think people do, you feed off each other's energy. I think everybody has experiences, and, you know, everything that we're learning in life, I mean, we just need more brains to sort of bring it all together and really just mastermind around a topic, and it's amazing what will come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And probably one of the things that when people say, oh, what was like a big challenge you had? And I really missed a community when I first started, you know, in 2005, 15 years ago, there wasn't, you know, organizations and chapters like you're hosting now, where, you know, there is strength in numbers, and there's strength in, you know, women supporting women in business. And I have seen a massive change, you know, in the sort of nearly 2 decades that I've been in business. How that has evolved is incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's what we're here for. That's Future Females. And yeah, so this is our 3rd birthday, and we just thought it was a great opportunity to bring entrepreneurs like yourself to the forefront and really help our community make it happen, get unstuck, and, you know, take the next steps, make their dreams come true, you know. So thank you so much for joining us.
No, I loved it. It was just a really, really nice chat, and I hope that people that watched and tuned in today, you know, have taken something from it apart from just Googling themselves, have got some value, and, you know, we'll take it to the next level. But
lovely. Well, yeah, I look forward to being in touch again, obviously in Dubai, and I would love to join your course, that's for sure, because I am petrified of building my own brand. So I'm hoping you can help.
You will do it beautifully. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Kelly.